Hello readers, welcome back to Nutan's Library. Friends, in this video I am presenting to you the summary of the book How to Talk to Anyone, written by Leil Lowndes. It is a comprehensive guide to communication skills and how to become a master conversationalist. The book is divided into several sections, each addressing different aspects of communication, including body language, verbal communication, and listening skills. The book also covers topics such as how to make a good first impression and how to handle social situations such as parties and networking events. Additionally, it includes sections on building confidence and overcoming shyness, as well as tips for dealing with difficult people and conflict resolution. So friends, stick to the entire video because the book provides a comprehensive and practical guide to effective communication, whether in personal or professional settings. It offers actionable tips and strategies that you can implement immediately to become better communicators and build stronger relationships. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, then immediately like the video and subscribe to the channel. Now, let's see the 92 great tricks mentioned in the book one by one. Technique number 1. Have a big warm smile. A big warm smile makes a positive impression, showing you are friendly, confident, and interested. But don't flash an immediate smile. Look at the person's face first. Pause, then let a big warm, responsive smile flood over your face and into your eyes, convincing them it's genuine and only for them. Technique number 2. Use your eyes to make a connection. Eye contact is powerful for establishing a connection and building trust. It shows that you are present and engaged in the conversation, conveying sincerity and interest. To maintain eye contact, don't break it even after the other person finishes speaking, and if you must look away, do it slowly and reluctantly. Technique number 3. Use epoxy eyes during conversation. Maintain eye contact with your target person even when someone else is talking. But sometimes using full epoxy eyes is too potent, so use a gentler yet effective form. Watch the speaker, but let your glance bounce to your target each time the speaker finishes a point. This way, your target still feels you are intrigued by his or her reactions, yet there is relief from the intensity. Technique number 4. Maintain a good posture. Whenever you walk through any door, maintain a good posture. Keep your head up and throw your shoulders back. Stand with assurance, move with confidence, and smile softly with pride. Always remember, your posture is your biggest success barometer. Technique number 5. The big baby pivot. It involves giving everyone you meet the warm smile, total body turn, and undivided attention you would give a baby who crawls up to your feet and beams a toothless grin. By turning 100% toward the new person, you show that you think he or she is very special, which satisfies the big baby inside everyone who craves recognition. Technique 6. Hello, old friend. When you meet someone new, imagine they are an old friend or a beloved person you had great affection for. Pretend that you two were separated due to life's challenges. Now the meeting or the event has reunited you with your long-lost old friend. This joyful experience starts a remarkable chain reaction in your body, from the subconscious softening of your eyebrows to the positioning of your toes, and everything in between. Technique 7. Limit the fidget. To appear credible during an important conversation, resist the urge to fidget, scratch, or touch your face. Instead, try to stay still and avoid any hand motions near your face. These actions can make the listener think that you're lying, so keep yourself focused and avoid any extraneous movements when you want to make a good impression. Technique 8. Get a horse sense. Make it a habit to get on a dual track while talking. Express yourself, but keep a keen eye on how your listener is reacting to what you're saying. Then plan your moves accordingly. People will say you pick up on everything, you never miss a trick, you've got a horse sense. Technique 9. Watch the scene before you make the scene. Visualize and rehearse the super somebody you want to be in advance. Imagine yourself confidently walking, maintaining hang by your teeth posture, smiling a flooding smile, and making sticky eyes. Practice chatting with ease and comfort. Feel the satisfaction of knowing you are at your best and people are naturally drawn to you. By visualizing yourself as a super somebody, you can make it a reality. Technique 10. Make a mood match. Assess your listener's mood and state of mind by observing their facial expressions and body language before speaking. By taking a voice sample, you can determine if they are enthusiastic, disinterested, or stressed. To effectively communicate and influence others, you must briefly match their tone and mood. Technique 11. Prozac with passion. Don't worry about the first words you say, as 80% of the impression you make has nothing to do with the words themselves. It's more important to convey an empathetic mood, maintain a positive demeanor, and speak with passion, as this will make you sound exciting no matter how ordinary your words may be. Technique 12. Always wear a what's it. A what's it is a conversation starter like an interesting pin or quirky accessory. Wear something reflective of your personality and interests, like a colorful scarf or distinctive watch. It helps you stand out, make a memorable impression, and start a conversation. Always wear a unique item that can spark a chat. Technique 13. Who's that? Acknowledge people by using and repeating their names during a conversation. It shows that you're interested in them and value their individuality. If you come across an unfamiliar name, ask about it to demonstrate your curiosity. Using names can help establish a stronger connection with people and make them feel appreciated. Technique 14. Eavesdrop in. Use the art of overhearing to join a conversation. Eavesdrop on nearby interesting discussions and add value with a comment or question. This technique helps in social situations where you feel uncomfortable approaching new groups. By listening for opportunities, you can contribute meaningfully. However, approach with respect and avoid interrupting or invading privacy. Technique 15. Never the naked city. When asked about your hometown, don't just give a one-word answer. Instead, prepare some interesting and engaging facts that can spark a conversation. By sharing unique aspects of your hometown, you give your conversation partner an opportunity to comment and show their own knowledge or interests. This can lead to a more interesting and memorable conversation, making you appear more engaging and sociable. Technique 16. Never the naked job. When asked about what do you do, don't just respond with your job title. Instead, share some intriguing details about your profession that can pique the interest of your conversational partner. For example, if you're an economist, you could mention a recent trend in the market or a prediction for the future. As an educator, you could talk about a unique teaching method you use or a memorable experience with a student. By sharing these tidbits, you invite your conversational partner to ask more questions and engage in a deeper conversation. Don't let your job be a conversation stopper. Make it a conversation starter. Technique 17. Never the naked introduction. When introducing people, don't just say their names and leave them to awkwardly navigate the conversation on their own. Instead, provide a conversational hook to get them started. Offer a tidbit of information about each person or find a common interest to help break the ice. This will create a more comfortable and engaging atmosphere for all involved. Once the conversation is flowing smoothly, you can choose to stay or move on to your next networking opportunity. Technique 18. Be a word detective. Be an attentive listener and pick up on clues about your conversation partner's interests. Pay attention to the details and topics they mention and use this information to guide the conversation towards something that they are passionate about. This can help you build a stronger connection with them and make the conversation more engaging for both parties. So be a detective and listen carefully for clues to their preferred topic. Technique 19. The swiveling spotlight. Visualize a giant revolving spotlight between you and the person you are meeting. When you talk, the spotlight shines on you, but when they speak, it moves to them. By keeping the spotlight shining brightly on them, you create an impression of being an engaged and attentive listener. This allows you to build rapport and learn more about the other person without dominating the conversation with details about yourself. The longer you keep the spotlight on them, the more they will appreciate your interest and attention. Technique 20. Parroting. To avoid being left speechless, use the parrot technique by repeating the last few words that your conversation partner says. This allows you to listen and respond appropriately, keeping the conversation flowing smoothly. It also puts the conversational ball back in their court, giving them an opportunity to further expand on the topic. Technique 21. Encore. Make your conversation partner feel like a star by asking them to share a story with the group. Think back to previous conversations and choose a story that highlights their strengths or achievements. Request an encore of that story and watch them shine. However, be sure to choose a positive story that showcases their successes, not their failures. Everyone loves to be the hero of their own story. Technique 22. Accentuate the positive. When meeting someone for the first time, keep your personal history in the closet and focus on the positives. Save the stories about your mistakes and mishaps for a later time when you have established a better relationship. Now is the time to highlight your strengths and eliminate any negative topics that could potentially harm the conversation. Technique 23. Don't leave home without the latest news. Before heading out to a social event, take a few minutes to catch up on the news of the day. Listen to the radio or read a newspaper to gather information that can serve as good conversation starters. Being aware of the latest news can also save you from embarrassing moments by preventing you from asking about a topic everyone else is already discussing. Avoiding such moments is important since they can cause discomfort and awkwardness, leaving you with egg on your face. Technique 24. Don't ask, "What do you do?" When meeting someone, instead of asking "What do you do?" to find out about their job, try asking "How do you spend most of your time?" This is a more gracious and personal way to ask the same question and can lead to more engaging conversations. It also avoids potentially uncomfortable situations that can help you make more genuine connections with others. Technique 25. Prepare the nutshell resume. Instead of giving the same generic answer to the question "What do you do?" tailor your response to the person you are speaking with. Consider their potential interests and how your work might relate to them. Have a few different stories or anecdotes about your professional life ready to share, depending on the situation and audience. By doing so, you can make a more memorable and engaging impression and potentially open up new opportunities. Technique 26. Expand your personal vocabulary. Expand your vocabulary by exploring the thesaurus for synonyms of words you use regularly. Experiment with using these new words in conversation and writing to see how they feel. If you find them appealing, gradually replace your old vocabulary with the new additions. By changing just 50 words, you can elevate your language and expressiveness from average to exceptional. Make it a habit to substitute one word per day for 2 months, and you'll soon become part of the verbally elite. Technique 27. Kill the quick "me too." Delaying the revelation of a common interest can release the impact it has on the other person. It shows that you are confident and not desperate for immediate connection. However, be careful not to wait too long, as it may come across as manipulative. Technique 28. Begin with you. Begin each relevant sentence with the word you. This simple technique helps capture the attention of your listener and elicits a more positive response. By emphasizing the listener, it appeals to their pride and reduces the need to mentally translate the message into their own perspective. Sprinkle you throughout your conversation like salt and pepper, and your listeners will find it an irresistible and flavorful addition. Technique 29. The exclusive smile. Giving the same smile to everyone can reduce its impact. Instead, give each person a unique smile that reflects the beauty you find in their face. If there is someone in the group who is particularly important to you, give them an extra big and warm smile that truly expresses your delight in seeing them. Technique 30. Don't touch a cliché. Avoid using clichés when conversing with important people. Doing so can make you sound unoriginal or unimpressive. Rather, try to come up with your own unique and creative phrases. Use your imagination and wit to create memorable statements that will make you stand out in the conversation. By doing so, you can demonstrate your intelligence and creativity and leave a lasting impression on your listeners. Technique 31. Use Joe Smith's jive. Use words that are fun to say and hear in conversation. The skills that move, amuse, and motivate an audience are not limited to public speaking. Whether you are addressing a large crowd or chatting with family over a barbecue grill, you can hone those same skills. One way to do this is by reading books by great speakers and writers and taking note of their clever quotes, pearls of wisdom, and funny anecdotes. Use these to spice up your own conversations and speeches, and if you want to be memorable, come up with your own clever and quotable phrases. Make them rhyme, make them clever, or make them funny, but most importantly, make them relevant to the occasion. Technique 32. Call a spade a spade. Be direct and honest in your communication with others. Using clear and direct language can help you build trust, respect, and credibility with others. The author suggests avoiding euphemisms, vagueness, and ambiguity in your speech, and instead using straightforward and honest language to express your thoughts and opinions. For example, instead of saying, "I'm not really feeling well," you could say, "I'm feeling sick and need to go home." By calling a spade, you can communicate more effectively and avoid misunderstandings in your personal and professional relationships. Technique 33. Trash the teasing. Teasing others to get a quick laugh is a telltale sign of a small-minded person. While it may bring some temporary amusement, it ultimately backfires as it reveals a lack of empathy and respect for others. Putting others down for a joke is never worth the cost of damaging relationships and losing the respect of those around you. So always choose kindness and respect in your interactions with others, and you'll reap the rewards of genuine connections and respect. Technique 34. It's the receiver's ball. Before sharing any news, consider the person you are sharing it with. Deliver it in a way that is sensitive to their feelings and reactions, rather than solely based on your own emotions. This is a skill that big winners have mastered, especially when it comes to delivering bad news. Additionally, they know when to withhold information entirely, especially when others are pressuring them for it. Knowing when to speak and when to stay silent is key to maintaining power and influence. Technique 35. The broken record. When faced with persistent questioning on an unwelcome subject, stick to your original response and repeat it using the same words and tone of voice. This often suffices to discourage further inquiry. However, if your rude interrogator persists, don't be afraid to firmly restate your position to make it clear that you won't be discussing the matter any further. Technique 36. Big shots don't slobber. Individuals who are notable in their own regard don't fawn over celebrities. You simply project an image of confidence, composure, and poise. When conversing with one, Express how much enjoyment or enlightenment their work has brought you, rather than complimenting them directly. If you do choose to highlight a particular achievement of the star, make sure it's a recent one, not something from the past that has lost its luster. Technique 37. Never the naked thank you. This technique involves showing appreciation in a way that is specific and personalized, rather than generic or superficial. According to the author, a naked thank you is a generic expression of gratitude, without any context or explanation. She suggests using specific details to explain why you appreciate the other person's actions or qualities, and how they have impacted you in a positive way. By offering a heartfelt and meaningful thank you, you can build stronger relationships, create goodwill, and show your respect and gratitude for the other person. Technique 38. Scramble therapy. Every month, scramble your life. Shake things up and try something completely new. Participate in a sport or physical activity. Attend an exhibition or event on a topic you know nothing about, or listen to a lecture on an unfamiliar subject. Just one experience can give you 80% of the insider knowledge and language you need to fit in a group. Technique 39. Learn a little gobbledygook. Big winners are multilingual, speaking the language of different professions as if it were their own. This special language is called gobbledygook. Now, why should you bother learning it? Because it helps you blend in and sound like an insider. But where do you learn it? You won't find gobbledygook lessons at your local bookstore, but it's easy to acquire. Just ask a friend who speaks the language of the group you are meeting to teach you a few key questions. With just a few words, you'll be able to impress and engage with experts in any field. To get started, learn 2 great opening questions and avoid the most common and ignorant outsider question. Technique 40. Bearing their hot button. To avoid looking clueless when conversing with professionals in a particular industry, do your research on the latest developments and hot topics in their field beforehand. Ask someone familiar with the industry to give you the inside scoop on the buzz. Use this information to steer the conversation towards these topics and ignite a more engaging discussion. Technique 41. Read their rags. Do you want to impress your next big client who is a golf enthusiast, a runner, a swimmer, a surfer, or a skier? Are you attending a social function where you'll be mingling with accountants or Zen Buddhists or people with various other interests? There are countless monthly magazines catering to every imaginable hobby and interest. By reading up on these magazines that are relevant to your target audience, you can have an endless supply of insider information to impress anyone with. By doing so, you can demonstrate your curiosity, establish rapport, and potentially learn something new. Additionally, this technique can be especially useful for networking and building professional relationships, as it allows you to identify shared interests and potentially discover new opportunities for collaboration. Technique 42. Clear customs. When traveling to a foreign country, take the time to learn about their customs and traditions. What is considered polite or respectful in one culture may be completely inappropriate in another. Educate yourself on the do's and taboos of the country you are visiting before you arrive, so you can avoid making any cultural faux pas that could jeopardize your business or personal relationships. This technique can help you build trust and rapport with people from different backgrounds, which can be especially important in today's globalized and interconnected world. Technique 43. Bluffing for bargains. This technique can be useful in negotiation and bargaining situations. When making a big purchase, don't just settle for the first vendor you come across. Instead, research multiple vendors to learn about the product and compare prices. This will help you make an informed decision when it's time to buy. In addition, learning some industry jargon will make you appear knowledgeable when speaking with salespeople. So after you've done your research, head to the store where you plan to make your purchase with confidence. Technique 44. Be a copycat. It involves subtly mirroring the body language, tone of voice, and speech patterns of the person you are talking to in order to build rapport and create a sense of connection. This technique is based on the idea that people are naturally drawn to those who are similar to themselves and can be used to build trust and establish a sense of familiarity with the other person. However, it's important to use this technique carefully and not to overdo it, as it can come across as insincere or manipulative if done excessively or inauthentically. Technique 45. Echoing. Echoing is a highly effective language tool that can make a significant impact. Pay close attention to the specific nouns, verbs, prepositions, and adjectives used by the speaker, and then repeat them back to them. By echoing their words, you establish a subconscious bond with them, conveying that you understand and relate to their values, attitudes, interests, and experiences. However, it's important to use this technique in moderation and not to do it too frequently, as it can become distracting or annoying if overused. Technique 46. Potent imaging. Use descriptive language to create a vivid mental image in the listener's mind. Tailor your language to the listener's interests and hobbies to make your message engaging and memorable. This technique works well for conveying complex ideas, but use it authentically and avoid being overly dramatic. Technique 47. Employ empathizers. Empathizers are phrases that convey a sense of understanding and empathy towards the other person. They help in building rapport and trust with the person you are talking to. For example, using phrases like "I know what you mean" or "I can understand why you feel that way" can make the other person feel heard and validated. By using empathizers, you demonstrate that you care about the other person's thoughts and feelings and are willing to listen to them. Technique 48. Use anatomically correct empathizers. To connect with your associates, understand which sense they rely on the most to process information. Do they rely on their eyes, ears, or gut? Adjust your language accordingly by using empathizers that match their sensory preference. Use visual empathizers for visual people, auditory empathizers for auditory folks, and kinesthetic empathizers for kinesthetic types. This helps create a deeper connection and understanding. Technique 49. The premature we. The premature we is a technique where you use inclusive pronouns like we instead of I while discussing future plans with someone. It implies that you both are involved and invested in the topic. For example, what can we do to ensure success in this project? This technique helps to build rapport and establish a sense of intimacy with someone. It can help create a sense of unity and cooperation between two people and enhance the quality of the conversation. Technique 50. Instant history. To build a deeper connection with someone, recall a special moment from your previous interactions and use it as a recurring reference point. Whether it's a shared laugh or a moment of warmth, referring back to these moments can help you establish an instant history and make the other person feel more familiar to you. This technique can be used to build both personal and professional relationships.